Hello and welcome back to Down the Track. India is finally playing ODIs after a long gap. There's been a lot. Of course, the pandemic has not helped, but the fact that there was the T20 World Cup, the IPL, and then a bunch of Test series, one after the other, which didn't give India time to play the ODI series. And now with the T20 coming up at the end of the year, there's going to be limited ODI cricket as well. But for now, we have a three-match ODI series against South Africa. Revenge time for India. Hopefully, at least they can go in the white ball format, which is a more formidable format. I guess red ball is good for them as well, but I think need to take a trophy back home, at least one of them, if not both. So, some time for redemption for India. For South Africa, more of the same. Just the way they performed in the T20 World Cup as well was commendable. Hopefully, they can show some glimpses of that and really challenge India. I'm looking forward to an exciting three game series. But Musti and me will be talking about the first ODI preview, just a little bit about that starting 11s and players to watch out for and stuff like that. But Musti, before we get started on that front, your thoughts on the ODI series just in general?
Yeah, I think after that Test series high octane, this is kind of a dampener for me personally. But I think there's a lot to look forward to. One is how will Virat Kohli play when he is not captain? Very interested in that. How will KL Rahul captain? That's another thing. And also South Africa. There's a lot of criticism after the likes of AB retired, and then Faf also not playing, and there's a transition phase, but they're doing pretty well now. I think they've developed. If you compare them to 2019, they're a bit more experienced. So it's very interesting to see the way they go about it. But a lot of things to look forward to. I think as a series overall, there's not much context because it's not a part of the ODI Super League either. There's not much context, but you always play to win, and I think hopefully it'll be an exciting series. Last time it was very one-sided. I think India won 5-1 or 6-1 or something like that. But I think this one will be a bit closer. It won't be as easy again. There's no Rabada, but don't count the South African team out.
Yeah, that's the big news that's come in. They want to give him time to. They want to manage his workload apparently for the New Zealand series. So that's an interesting sign. But a lot of question marks, like you said. Some big names missing for South Africa. Well, Rabada and amongst the big names missing, and then over on the Indian side, the Virat Kohli captaincy situation, of course, along with the fact that there's a couple other questions. Usually, you have about 9 or 10 players always sorted for India, but then there's just this one player, maybe not. But here, I think there are 3-4 options that are still in contention, and a lot will depend on what kind of team India will want to put out there. So some interesting decisions for both teams to make. To be honest, we have our predicted 11, but we don't know what is going to happen on that side of things. What's the other Delhi bowler's name?
Okay.
Nokia also is missing, so another big bowler missing for them as well. I slipped my mind over there. So no Rabada, no Nokia, and like you said, no AB, no Faf, and this transition period. A lot of these mid-order batsmen will need to really step up, and they've shown promise. The likes of Bamuma, the likes of Rusi van der Dusen has shown a lot of promise. So hopefully, this is a good platform for them to really cement their place in their sides. And look forward to the next 1 or 2 years of cricket in terms of T20 and the next year's World Cup as well.
Yeah, but I think even Aiden Markram, at red ball, he hasn't had the best of times, but he's a very talented batsman. I think in the white ball, you might see a better show from him.
Yes.
And Van der Dusen as well is a great white ball player. I saw him
Exactly.
in the T20 Cup, but there was an innings, I think, against England, was it? But I think it was in Sharjah. He batted really well, almost scored 100.
He scored 100 in the practice match, I think, against was it Pakistan? I'm not remembering.
Yeah,
I think it was Pakistan.
Smashed it. So, this South African team, when Rabada and Noki do come in, they're actually a very formidable side in one days because their death bowling is excellent, right?
Yeah.
When you have a really good new ball and death bowling pair, then it makes your team a notch better than other teams, right?
Absolutely.
And we saw that. If it wasn't for that run rate system, South Africa would be in the semifinals of the T20 World Cup. I'm sorry I keep referring to that. It's just a reference points because we did underestimate South Africa going into that T20 World Cup, and they've shown that they are a good side. Yeah. Again, they have players missing, but there's some exciting talent there to watch out. And they have bowlers. They have Marco Jansen, Lungi, and Gidi. These guys have proven in the Test series that they can cause this Indian team problems. The only thing is how will they manage their workload? That's the
and the fact that these guys are good opening bowlers, but I feel like Ngidi and Marco Jansen both have gotten hit in the death, and that would be a
Yes, that's
problem
quite
for
a
them.
good point. Yeah,
Yeah,
that will be a learning curve for them. They will have to try to not leak runs at that time, but they're not on the Rabada Nokia level when it comes to their
exactly.
bowling. That's
Yeah.
100%. I agree
Yep.
with you.
So let's just quickly go over the predicted 11s. There are some questions, like I said, for the Indian lineup as well. I have a team out here, but we will see how that goes. Uh, of course, it's KL Rahul and Shikhar Dhawan to open the batting, especially with no Rohit. I think that's already been. I think KL has already hinted on in the press conference about him being again back in the opening
Yeah, he said.
side of things. Yeah, and then Virat at 3, obviously. The number 4 position is usually in the recent past has gone to Surya Kumar, but now with the Shreyas Iyer century and Shreyas Iyer really coming into the play, does Surya Kumar keep his place, or does Shreyas Iyer kind of edge it? I don't know. Personally, I feel like it should be Sky, but I think Shreyas Iyer might nick that place at 4, and then punt at 5, and then debut for Venkatesh Iyer, who's had an absolute dream run in the past 4 5 months at 6. And then if Washington Sundar is fit and ready to go, then I'd play him at 7, Shardul at 8, Chahal at 9, Bumrah at 10, and either of Bhuvi, Deepak Char, or Siraj at 11, depending on who you want to go and what kind of pitch situation is. Because I think Bumrah is your is a good death bowler. Bhuvi and Deepak Char are similar kind of bowlers, so they'll probably it'll be either or. And I think Siraj also still, I don't know if he's 100% fit from the injury, but I think
Yeah, yeah, he
I
might not play.
yeah, I think I'd focus on keeping him fully fit, and until then try like someone like a Bhuvi and Deepak Char, who both have had decent stints in the past in the white ball format. This would be my side. If Sundar is not fit, obviously Ashwin replaces Sundar, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think the problem over here is again the top five don't bowl. If you're the top five bowl, then you can play Venkatesh Iyer at seven instead of six, and you can play Iyer and Surya Kumar Yadav.
Yeah, yeah,
And
and
that's
that's
ideal. And
that
I
is
would like.
the biggest problem. We've been talking about this for too long, and I think that because of that, I think KL has already indicated that Venkatesh Iyer is going to get a debut. So I think that they've already decided on that side.
No, I'm
And
saying play Venkatesh Iyer.
yeah,
I'm saying play him, but he use him as the fifth bowler with a spinner. Right now, he's playing as the sixth bowler.
yeah,
Right?
yeah. You think he'll bowl 10 overs?
Who Venkatesh Iyer?
Venkatesh Iyer.
Not with the lineup you've given me. No, he won't. But I'm
Correct.
saying if you had a spinner like a Suresh
Right.
Raina or a
Right.
Sehwag,
Right. Right. Of course. Of course.
then you don't need him. You can still go with him, and even if he doesn't bowl 10 overs, you can take out
It's
4 overs.
fine.
At that time we used to say, I wish India, had an all rounder and not a
It's tables
just a
have
part.
turned. Yeah.
I don't understand how it's turned, but it's turned.
But I think with the fact that yeah, and that's why we have to play Venki at 6.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, there's
because
no other
ideally
option.
I would like a year at five because Surya Kumar for me is the number four batsman.
Correct.
But like you said, Ayer's also been performing. So if you have to choose between one or the two, it's very difficult. I would personally go with Surya Kumar, but it's very
Yeah.
difficult to choose between the two.
Yeah, I think in the recent few months, especially with the Test match century and Shreyas Iyer really also touring with the side, he probably has a little bit more of a connect with probably the likes of Rahul Dravid and stuff like that. So maybe they'd go with that run. But I
Hmm.
wouldn't be surprised if either or makes that number 4 position. And then punt at 5, Venkatesh Iyer at 6. The bowling options also, like I said, there's a couple variations that they could try, but I think largely this will probably be the side. It will be interesting to see how Virat, the batsman, steps up now, because Virat, the captain, is now not there anymore. And I would like to see how KL, captain, really. I'm sure Virat is going to be in his ears, chirping around and giving him valuable input.
I want to see
But
that. If it'll be very interesting to see the first 10, 15, 20, even just the first match, just to see how the fielding is. Virat
yeah,
Kohli's energy, is it the same as when he was captain?
or
KL
is he
Rahul.
going or is he going straight to deep mid wicket and not making any noise? Because
Yeah,
usually he's the long off, long on kind of player.
yeah.
So that remains to be seen.
I
I'll be
guess in test
intrigued.
matches will be more obvious. Here it won't be as obvious, but the camera is going to pan on him, so we will
All the
find
time.
out
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah. We'll get a little bit of a insight for sure, 100%.
Yeah,
Hopefully, and knowing Virat, the kind of guy he is, I don't think he'd want India to win. So I think if he has any input, I'm sure he's gonna run up and to KL and definitely talk to him. With that being said, it remains to be seen. Let's see how that goes. We will find out soon enough.
Hmm.
So, but your players to watch out for this Indian side.
From India, of course, everyone's going to watch out for Rahul and Virat Kohli. I'll say Shardul Thakur. I think he's just like, I've seen him pick up wickets against England, against Australia, everywhere in the world. Now it's time to. He's got a 7 wicket haul in the Test matches. So I think he's someone who can keep picking up wickets. And in South Africa, if you keep doing that, then you keep that run rate in check. Otherwise, it does become difficult. And even if he's expensive, if he picks up 3-4 wickets a game, then he's someone who will keep India in the game, and wickets will win you matches. So I'm going a bit left field with Shardul Thakur.
Yeah, I think that's a good shout. It's quite a journey for him as well. Venkatesh Iyer, we spoke about for the past 3-4 months. For Shardul, I think the past year and a half has been almost a dream run to being
Yeah,
a mainstay in the Indian order, to getting a big contract in the IPL and stuff like that. Things have worked out pretty well for Shardul, and I hope that he continues for a few more years, because that kind of competition will really hopefully pep up someone like a Jaddu or a Hardik Pandya to really up their game as well. So that would really help for sure. Shardul Haq, a good shout. I would like to see how Chahal performs. Yuzi Chahal, I
mm.
think he's been a little bit quiet, but I'd like to see how he can,
he played
in
really well. To be fair, whenever he got the chance, just
exactly,
before
yeah.
the World Cup, he
Yeah,
played
and
really well.
and in conditions that might not be as favorable, I think he's he's an extremely smart and uncanny kind of a player. So I'd like to see how he performs in these kind of pitches. And a good performance here. And we already know, like we keep talking about it, the IPL auction with him being one of the big names
Yeah,
going in would
absolutely,
would would definitely help.
absolutely.
But moving on to South Africa, the predicted 11 is. Quinton Dicock and Malan at 1 and 2, Markram at 3, Babuma at 4, Russi van der Dusen at 5, Miller at 6, Pretorius at 7. You play Maharaj at 8, Ngidi at 9, Shamsi at 10, and Janssen at 11.
Hmm.
I
Yeah, I
think
mean, I was telling you
with
before the thing that I thought they'll go with the just one spinner.
Peluqueo,
But you mentioned that
yeah,
Maharaj the
Maharaj,
vice captain,
yeah.
and even though I did send you that squad, I didn't realize that he's the vice captain.
And there is an option to play Peluqueo as well, if they
Exactly.
want
There
to.
you
Yeah, I don't know, but like I said, Shamsi is a good player. I can't pronounce his name
go.
for the
No, no,
life of me. And
me neither.
Maharaj is the vice captain, so I feel like they might go with that route. And to be fair, I think in the Indian side as well, it's either Sundar or Ashwin and Chahal. So there are two almost 20 overs spin over there as well. So
I'm
we'll have to see.
scratching
Maybe
my head because why didn't they just make Markram vice captain? Was he captain before Markram?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I don't know what
Yeah, they
happened
should
over
have
there.
kept Vander Dusen or Markram vice captain just because
I think Van
I
der
don't know.
Dusen's too new, so
Maharaj is
maybe,
more
but
of a
Mark
test
up, yeah.
player.
Yeah.
Maharaj is more of a test player. I know he can play 1 days. There's nothing against. He played the T20 World Cup as well, so don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just felt that they'll make someone like that a vice captain. But yeah, that's completely
But
fine.
it made sense. It made sense because it was in the UAE, so it made sense to go like with
Yeah,
those spinners over there.
yeah,
But here
and
in South African conditions,
they're two left arm, but they are different, so it's
yeah.
fine. They spin it the other way, so it is fine. But yeah, I just feel that maybe they'd go one spinner, but they have options. So either way, I think your way is good as well. I don't
Yeah,
think it's a
they also have this youngster who Virayan. I think he's being talked up a lot as well.
keeper.
He's a young wicketkeeper batsman who's
He
a
was the
good.
wicketkeeper in the last two Test matches. And that's him.
Oh, the same guy.
Yeah, it's the
Oh,
same
the
guy.
last in the last two Test matches. Yes, correct. My
Yeah,
bad.
yeah.
I completely forgot.
Yeah,
Uh,
he did look good. He did look good, and even at that time, they thought Sunil Gavaskar thought it was his debut, but he actually played a couple Test matches before as well. So it's not
clearly,
just
I'm
yeah, no,
out
no,
of
it's
it.
not just you. Like even the commentators were, but he
I
looked decent as well. He
Yeah,
had a good partnership with Bavuma in the Test match. So
correct,
if he's
correct, correct.
who
That's
you're
what I was
talking
thinking
about,
when I heard that name.
yeah,
I do have a question for you. And if I can remember the name of that player, there was this South African wicketkeeper batsman who had come into the limelight, uh, right under
Hassan.
has where is he? What
Yeah,
happened
that's
to
a good
him?
question. I think he's someone that I would look at, but they backed him in the last 2 3 years. Even in the he was there in the 2019 World Cup. He probably didn't live up to expectations. He was there for RCB and Rajasthan, I think, in
Yeah,
the IPL.
yeah.
But I
For
think now they're
he
looking
played
at
he played Rajasthan even in the past IPL also he was playing for Rajasthan. So
also,
surprising.
with Quinton there's a bit more competition. So and they're probably looking at a young wicketkeeper in Viren and stuff. So I think they're going that way. They've actually backed a few players. He's one who hasn't been as consistent, but they've backed the likes of Markram, Van der Dusen for a couple of years now. So they do have a more experienced middle order than maybe 2 3 years ago,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they're bringing in some youngsters as well. So it's a good combination that way.
Yep, I agree 100%. And your player to watch out for South Africa?
Janeman Malan. He smashed it in that last series before the
Yeah,
T20 World Cup.
yeah.
Was it
He
against
was,
Sri
yeah, he was extremely good. And he's definitely one of the future to look out for. And for me, Russi van der Dusen, I think that he's a class player. I really want to see more of him. I think and he's some of that guy who can also build innings. Plus, if you just need him to go all bonkers, he can do that. So he's your
Lanka?
perfect number four, number five kind of player. Who can build also and can finish also, especially in these one day formats. Number 4, 5 become very, very important. And I think with
Yeah,
Bavuma and Russi, I think they have very, very good experience over there. So looking forward to how they kind of go through, and especially Russi van der Dusen, because I've seen some really classy innings from him, and I want to hopefully continue to see that from him for sure.
yeah. I actually watched him when he initially came onto the screen. It was onto the scene. Sorry,
Yeah.
it was I think for South Africa, not for South Africa, in the GT20. He played
Mm,
for Vancouver. I think they won the tournament, and he was one of the players of the tournament.
right.
And from there, like you could say that okay, just the GT20, but you could already see the talent that he had. He had the shots. He plays really good in the V. Especially straight down the ground, he has a very good straight bat, and players like that will be successful. And if you needed any confirmation, I think that T20 World Cup he showed a lot of thing.
Promise.
Now it's not about talent; it's about just consistency. It's about getting those runs. Just putting your head down. And I think the Test series will really help him mature as a player. Those were some tough pitches.
Yeah.
He's a very talented batsman, Van der Dusen.
I agree 100%. With that, I think we've covered the important points of the first game. But your prediction for the series, not only
2-1.
tomorrow, 2-1-2.
Either way,
Well, okay.
2-1
Well,
India.
okay, fair enough. I was thinking 2-1 India too. It's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot tighter than one would imagine. I think it's going to be a. I just hope for it to
if,
be an
if, if Virat
exciting.
Kohli if Virat Kohli turns fire, they can clean sweep this. I'm just
Yeah.
saying because if he just I don't know presses some accelerator and takes the game away, because in South Africa I saw him chase some games by himself, even batting first he was scoring hundreds. If he has a series like he did last time where he scored like 3 4 hundreds.
That was purple patch, man. 2016 to 2018, Virat was
Yeah,
purple
I
patch.
think that's the
So
only way we'll see a 3-0. But otherwise, it will be a good series. But man, listen, at the end of the day, if Rabada and Nokia are not playing, I know India have beaten Australia without big players, but I think India should be favorites going into the series again. Like I said in the Test series.
And I think the biggest weakness that they have over here is how they'll manage the death. I think the last 8, 10 overs, because it's not
Yeah,
just 2, 3 overs, it's about 8, 10 overs is 42, 43 is when I think players will get a move on in the last
yeah.
8, 10 overs. So that's going to be the key with the
I have
Rabada
two
and
very
Nokia
quick
missing.
questions for you.
Yes.
How sorry to cut you there, but I just wanted to ask much of ODI, how much does ODI have as on an impact when picking a T20 squad? Because we have a one day World Cup coming in 2023, which is close now, which is 1 year.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they already have an eye on that. But there's the 2022 World Cup as well. So these performances, the likes of Puvi, if he starts bowling well, especially at the death with the new ball, you can say the same thing with South Africa. Someone like Janiman Malan, or even in India, the other bowlers. How much of that impact will have brighten their chances going into the T20 World Cup?
I think it'll be significant. I think if anyone performs really well over here, it automatically makes them front runners to make that T20 squad, because
Also, it does
you have to.
affect
Yeah,
games.
I think because the ball is only 25 overs. You have to remember, because the ball changes every over, right? So it's only 25. Two balls are played. So 25 over old ball. So it's like it's not how much you can do with that is almost identical to a 20 over game. Just 5 overs more. So it's not like it's a really old ball and that you're getting that. Option in the death and stuff like that, you can kind of reverse and stuff like that. None of that's going to happen because of the fact that you use two balls every alternate over kind of. so
Yeah, that's a good point.
so
That's
uh, so I think a lot of impact will happen, but I think the only thing that they could probably, I don't want to say neglect, but I think they can kind of avoid is the middle overs. 15 through 40 overs will probably be something that, if there is someone who's playing slow and trying to get themselves in, that's acceptable. But how they play in the first few overs and the last few overs will really have a big impact on the way T20 is kind of played. So that's probably going to be the most important lookout for these guys.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I think, yeah. with the 23 World Cup coming as well, this will be an important series for that. And last question: will Virat Kohli score 100 in this series?
Bro, I'm gonna say no now because I've been jinxing him. I've been jinxing him for too long. I'm gonna say no, so I hope it turns around for me because I really want him to. I really want him to. I feel like when he was scoring too many, I was like, oh my god, he keeps scoring, and then he just went on to this complete slump. So now I'm gonna say, yeah, he's not gonna score. So hopefully he does.
I wasn't expecting this answer. I thought,
I've been doing it. I've been doing it for I think a few months now. I think I've been doing it from England. Then I did the World Cup.
yeah.
Then I did in South Africa. Then I was like, okay, now I need to calm down. I need to
I
do the
mean,
reverse
last player to
psychology.
watch out for was Virat Kohli. You moved from Ashwin to Kohli, but
Yeah,
yeah, I
because
think
me backing Ashwin for so long is now made him a mainstay in the red ball cricket, white ball cricket. Ravi Ashwin is all around. So hopefully
yeah.
this can change Virat's fortunes as well.
No, 100%. It can probably, hopefully, it doesn't like what do you call it, the opposite of jinx,
Yeah,
but
reverse psychology. I'm doing that only
reverse
right now.
psychology. Yeah, yeah, reverse psychology. Yeah, I hope that works out. But I'm really, really excited to see what's going to happen from that side of things. Honestly, I like, it is might not have the same energy as a test series. We don't know what's going to happen, but I just think the dynamics and also limited overs are always fun to watch. So I think it's going to be good to see what happens from India's point of view. It's very important because the future is kind of at stake right now. We don't know where Indian cricket is going right now. Me and you have like just shifted our mind to the IPL because we're so confused, right, with what's
Yeah.
going on with Indian cricket. So I think tomorrow will give us kind of an indicator. This series still is very early. I don't think we can criticize too much on KL Rahul, I'm saying, but still we'll get indications.
I think he needs time. I think you can't base him off of the
I
series.
get
I
that.
think you have to give him some time. And go in, and of course it's just a makeshift ODI captain, right? It's going to be Rohit as soon as he comes back
Yeah,
from injury.
but
So
that's the thing, right? I even told you this before when Rohit Sharma was captain. What guarantee is it that he's going to be
he's going to
fully fit
play.
in the
He's gonna, yeah. I'm telling you, he's already 35 with a lot of injury problems. I think
for me the age is not an issue, like not because like we're also getting older and trying to justify it. It's not that. If you just look at examples, the likes of Anil Kumble, likes of Adam Gilchrist, Hayden, these guys all were peaking in the
but
30s.
there wasn't that much
Michael
cricket
Smith.
at that time. The
No, I
T20s, the
agree.
phenomenon of T20s come through
Then
with the
it's simple,
IPL and stuff
and
like
it's
that.
simple.
Workload.
You drop the IPL. I know it's
No
more
one's
easier.
going to drop the IPL.
You drop a format. You have to drop a format if you want to focus. If you have a certain goal, you have to drop something.
Yeah,
You know,
100%. And that's why I think Rohit Sharma shouldn't be playing tests at all. He should not be playing tests. He should retire from test cricket. He should only
yeah,
focus on white ball cricket,
and
and
yeah,
that'll help him.
that's how it goes, I think. And also, okay, fine. We're not playing as much cricket, but also fitness levels are much different now than they were before. So,
Correct. Yeah,
but
I think that wraps it up. Looking forward to an exciting series tomorrow, and we'll
yeah,
catch you after it.
yeah, for sure. Thank you so much for joining me,
See
man.
you.